when I speak to someone and that person doesn't listen. It hurts. I still remember when I arrived to the United States from Lithuania. I was 19, about to start college, and one day I was grocery shopping when a very friendly cashier greeted me at the checkout. "Hi, honey, how are you today?" "You know, school starts in a week. I'm late for orientation, so I still realize I have all these forms to sign. I need to go to the financial aid office, and the professor, 10:50. Anything else you need?" My heart sank. Where I come from and the way I was raised, you don't ask, "Hey, how are you?" and not listen to the answer. I was embarrassed, rejected. It hurt. And this happens every day, even with my partner. The other day I tell him, "Hey honey, can you throw in these shirts in the washing machine when you're done?" "Okay, will do, bye." I come home, I'm looking for my shirts, and where do I find them? Exactly where I left them. He didn't listen. I felt ignored and frustrated, and that hurt. So not only do we ask questions without listening to the answer, but we also give answers without listening to the question. How crazy is that? And I thought, listening should be easy. We all have 2 ears. They're always open. It should be automatic, right? But somehow it isn't. Why? First, hearing and listening are 2 different things. Hearing happens when ear waves go through our ears, and that, indeed, is automatic. Listening happens in our brain when we sort through those sounds to extract meaning, and that takes effort. So we need to pay attention. Second, it's not enough to pay attention. There's something else that clouds our understanding of what we perceive when we hear someone. Experts call that listening filters. Let me share a story to illustrate. The story of Casey J, a documentary maker in the United States. A few years ago, Casey set out to make a documentary about men's rights activists in America. At the time, she was a fervent feminist. And so to go out there and interview men about their problems was tough. It was like meeting her enemy. But she was very professional. She traveled the country for a year, interviewing men, listening patiently. Then she transcribed those interviews in order to edit the movie. And then, suddenly, she had a revelation. When she was comparing the words she was typing to the memory of those interviews, she realized that all that time that she was sitting there and nodding her head, she was not listening at all. What she was doing is fighting with them in her head. She was anticipating what they were going to say. She was constructing her own version of their story. These listening filters are the biases that we all bring for our culture, language, values. Even emotions in the moment can distort the meaning that we extract from what we hear. And when I realized that it took Casey a few years of diligent listening to even become aware of those biases, I thought, how do I practice? If only there was a public listening club. This is where I had a revelation. In our Toastmasters club in Paris, an average meeting is 2 hours. For 2 hours, one person at a time, we practice public speaking. The other 30 people in the audience spend an average of 2 hours each listening attentively in order to give feedback. 30 people times 2 hours, that's 60 hours of listening for every 2 hours of speaking. You have it. We are all part of the International Public Listening Club. And this is not new. In the 60s, the Toastmaster magazine had a slogan. On the cover, it said, "The Toastmaster, for better listening, thinking, speaking." Because we don't learn when we speak. We learn when we listen. And this is what I learned. If I listen to you, not to please you, not to be polite, but to understand what you say, you will feel respected. If I listen to you, not to confirm what I already know, not to prove you wrong, but to hear out your point of view, you will feel empowered. And if I listen to all of you, not just to throw out another opinion on the table, but to really understand each point of view and the state of the debate, we may have a chance at having a real conversation. Imagine all the lasting relationships we could build, all the complex problems we could solve, all the meaningful conversations we could have, if only we listened to each other. I learned too that the reason why it matters so much to me is that respect, empowerment, and being part of the conversation is the essence of what I crave the most: human connection. And that, my fellow Toastmasters, is the real power of listening.